What's up, everybody? What's up? How you guys all doing? So, there's this guy on YouTube says he has a girlfriend of 3 years.
Good evening, sir. Ask away, sir.
But he's never met her. Yeah, they send little love notes and stuff to, the texting and stuff like that, and they like webcam and stuff like that on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. But how do you know that person loves you? How do you know you can trust that person? You know, you live in one state and she lives in another state where it could take, I don't know, 6 hours in an airplane to get there. What's the reason why you guys haven't met yet?
Okay.
In 3 years. But she loves you. But you guys can't put two and two together and work out a deal? Okay, let's not talk about that. Let's not talk behind somebody's back. Because that's not what you do. Because we're all adults here. Let's talk about me and my wife. Me and my wife will be married of 18 years as of June. It's 2026. We got married in 08. Not in June. On Flag Day, June 14th. But that's not important at this moment. But me and my wife, Matt. My wife, I've known her for 3 years. And every single week, she told me she loved me. And did I really believe her? Not really. Not really. Then we were talking about meeting up. But for the first 6 months, she asked me a question. She goes, I hate to ask you this, but can you please help me? I'm like, help me with what? She said, can you pay my phone bill so we can keep on talking? And that kind of got, back it up just a minute. It took her about 3 months for her to say, oh, I love you and all that. Okay, that's cool, we send love letters and stuff. And stuff like that, and we webcam, we phone call, we text. But I lived in Michigan and he lived here in Washington. How can you trust somebody that didn't love you? You're asking for money when you guys never met face to face. No, Ziffy, she goes, no, I'm for real. I'll give you my link and everything. You just pay my phone. That's all. And she goes, if you can't help me, you can't talk anymore. I'm like, so is that how it is? She goes, no, I'm not trying to be rude, but my mom and dad, I didn't know the whole story, and I didn't want to get into it. I didn't know they were having money issues. She goes, my mom and dad can't afford our phones anymore. My phone's $30, my mom's phone's $30, my dad's phone's $30. And so it comes out to like 96 bucks. With tax stuff. And she goes, at the end of the month, I won't be able to talk to you anymore if I can't get help. And I call him. I'm like, you being for real? She goes, yeah. And I'm like, what's your mom's phone number? She goes, my mom's phone's off. And I'm like, what's your dad's number? Oh, my dad's phone's off. I go, why is your phone still on? Oh, I came up with $10 and they're gonna keep my phone on for a week. I'm like, oh, okay, that works. So I go, how much do you need just for your phone? She goes, but it's cheaper if you pay for all the phones. I go, well, how much is the phone? She goes, well, I paid 10 of it, so it'd be $80, maybe $86. I go, how much is just your phone by itself going to be $90. I'm like, ah, I don't believe that. And she gave me her codes and all that. She goes, you can call my phone company. And I called, talked to Verizon at the time. I said, yeah, talk to one of your customers, and I just want to know how much your phone plan is. I go, how much is your basic phone line for one person to call out of state? And what they tell me? $93. I'm like, okay. Then I go, well, if you're on a family plan of 3 phones and people just got their own, that the person only, they have their own phones and all that, and all they need is a SIM card, how much it costs? She goes, that's the deal. Each phone's $33. I said, is that why that deal was that? And the lady goes on the phone and goes, yeah. They had their own phones and they had their own SIM cards. All we had to do was transfer it. Well, they probably got new SIM cards, but you know what I mean. But this was, 17 years ago. Or more like 18, really. Because for 2 years, I paid for her cell phone. Her whole family. And the lady goes, what I can remember, she goes, yeah, for one phone plan, it's $60. I go, yeah, but isn't that what one of your guys' phone? She goes, no. The regular plan. I can understand. What phone you have and what cheaper it is. And she goes, yeah. And that's how it is today's work, too. It just don't make any sense. So I'm like, okay, so you're telling me this number belongs to her mother, and this number belongs to her father, and this number belongs to her? She goes, well, I don't know whose phone number is which, but yeah, it's a mom and dad and a daughter thing. I'm like, and this is the last name, this is the address, this is the mother's name, this is the father's name, this is the daughter's name? She goes, yeah. I'm like, okay. So, and the lady goes, so, you know, the people who they are willing to pay the bill? I'm like, yeah, let's hold up a minute. I'm just making sure the people I'm talking to are legit. So this guy, blah, 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 and he's married to blah, 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 and that's their daughter. They read that blah, blah, blah address. Goes, according to the record, the guy, Robert, the lady, Marie, the daughter's name. It would be my wife, Dee Dee. I'm like, okay, this is right information, and they live in the city. And Yum. Well, I think it's the city or it's the country. The lady, she goes, I don't know the city because we're not in Washington State. I'm like, where you guys located? She goes, Indiana. Because it's just a hotline number. No, you're not. It's not. I go, so is this a hotline number or business? To like the city. She goes, so we're out of state. We're just a big corporation. You just pay your bill. I'm like, okay. So I go, so once I give you my information, how long is it gonna take to turn it on? And I'm just, and I told her I wanted to leave a note on the text. I said, I want you to text me one of these phones for me. And I want you to put for Robert. When you can pay it forward, please do. And that's the same thing I said for the mom. When you can pay it forward, please do. And my wife said, I love you. I trust you. Please pay it forward when you can do. But make time short. 2 years go by. Me and my girlfriend at the time planned on for me to go there. Remember what I said? Please pay it forward. Do that text. Remember that part. Remember that, okay? Let's move on. So I had to figure out a bit. It took about 3 months to figure out that when I was gonna go, where I was gonna stay, and stuff like that. And I started talking to the mother and the father, and the grandmother and the grandfather. Like, yeah, I'm willing to come and meet you guys. Like, really, really, really falling in love with your daughter. We talk every day. We webcam every day. We text every day. Webcam every day, etc., etc. I kept on repeating myself. So the guy knew I was serious. I'm like, hey, man. At the time, I owned my own business. And I could still run the business, not being there. But I ran this business for 3 years. It would probably been better that I was there, but I did all the eBay stuff when we were doing the bumpers. They would do the work and they'd send me all the information, the bumper information. And when the bumper sold, I would send them the email with the label, and all they had to do was print it out because they had the label machine through um, FedEx and UPS, because you had an option when you bought the part from this company. If you got a headlight or a front cover or a rear cover, or you got a fender or you got a door, you had an option how you wanted to get shipped.
Great.
And I knew all the dimensions already. How big the front cover would be, the rear cover would be, how big the door was, and what the weight was. That was all there. So you didn't have to do nothing but say, hey, I'm buying this blah 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 for this vehicle, and this is how much it's gonna cost to get shipped from Detroit, Michigan to wherever. They would pay for it. They'd pick FedEx, UPS, or whatever, and boom.
So,
Don't do nothing. Hit print, smacking on a thing, and had it timed. But there's an eagle. I can't. I don't know how to edit right now. But there's an eagle flying. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's an eagle flying in the trees over there. He's just circling, looking for, and kind of rowing it and stuff. But so that's what I did. Then when I did come here, that's what I did for 3 years, and just then one day the father passed away. The son couldn't run anymore, and that's why I don't work today. Plus, I'm disabled, so it doesn't help either. So I got my full benefits back and stuff, and that's the only way I was able to take care of the phone bills and stuff. So let's go back to where I had to find transportation. So I went and saved a little bit of money up to put a down payment on a 2008 650 Suzuki Berman big scooter. So, I paid for the 1 year prescription for insurance, and I got my CAS registration. And the dealer goes, well, you need to take a 3-day course so you can get a permit to ride the thing, because you need a motorcycle endorsement. And the guy asked me how long I've been driving a car. I said, well, I got my license in September 11th. Oh, I'm sorry, that day. 01. He goes, man, that was a bad day. Yeah, it really was. And they didn't want to run it that day, but they ended up running it that day for me and my sister. We both got a license same day, because it's cheaper that way. Especially cell phone stuff. More people got in the dealers, better deal, I guess. So we got that. This was, well, for me it was $27,000. Well, it was so much money. Well, let's begin. I knew I was traveling from Detroit, Michigan, all the way to Washington State to Yelm, where we're at right now in Yelm. What's roughly like 2,234 miles, 26, I think exactly. It's like a 34 hours like 20-minute drive. So, give or take. So just say 35 hours. So, I'm thinking to myself, what do we need? What do we need? So, got myself a helmet, got this fog thing, and I got a shield with black tint for sun rays. And at that time I had glasses. So not only it was sunglasses with my eye prescription. Can't remember what it is today. I don't have to wear glasses anymore. But I think the only way I had to wear glasses so many times because I've just so much dust in my eyes and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I would have the plastic shield on with the hoodie, the plastic thing, but dust still got in my eyes. And it messed with my vision. So I had to wear glasses when I was reading books, especially smaller letters. I still have trouble today reading them, but it's one of the reasons why I'm
Okay,
doing
you
it.
made the sale. We finally got currency to run through the tills at this place. All anyone drinks nowadays is bottled fucking water.
Comprehend much. That's probably why some of my video games that you can't concentrate that good. So I got a great memory. Problem is I can't put it on paper because I can't spell half the words. Now when I went to school, we didn't have cell phones, so if there was spell checker, you didn't want to use him because you didn't want to be embarrassed. Because I went to school to a prep. People were smart, they were gorgeous. You went to the school because you were smart, or you went to the school because you played sports, or you went to the school because you had money. So me, I wasn't smart. Still wasn't a prep. I didn't play sports for the school, but I played sports. And my sisters and brothers, they didn't do any of that. They weren't smart. They didn't have money, and they didn't play sports. They just went to school. So they put my family on the back burner. But in reality, it didn't take long to get popular. Now, I wasn't a prep, but I was one of the popular kids because I hung out with the rich and the preps. And I hung out with people with sports. Well, for one, I could teach you in a league faster than the school program could. Because I can be like, yeah, man, this guy's been playing so long, and this guy can't. You take my word for it. I watch this guy play. This guy can catch the football. This guy can run. This guy can plow over. This guy can plow over a hippo or an elephant. This guy, tell mamma jamma. Two of my friends, they went to school. A couple different. One went to U of M. He played football for 4 years. Now he's on some NFL team. Another my friend went to Kentucky, and he went 3 years for football, and his fourth year he didn't play football because he had to get a learning degree for business because his wife goes, I want to run a business. She still runs a business today. It's been like 20 years, and he's a pro athlete, but he doesn't play for the NFL, but I think he plays for the XFL, and he's a pretty good guy too. And he plays somewhere in Kentucky, and they have their own RV business. And you think, with me being homeless, I can get a deal. I don't want that. It's not like I got him into it. All I did is get him to play some high school football. That's all I did. I talked to the coach and got him in. Why didn't I play football? I can catch, I can run, I can tackle, I can cover, blah, 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 but I'm not good. I play hockey and athletics. I do. You see me play softball, I suck at it. But it's not because I suck at it, I can't get better. I can't. Don't care. Well, anyway, let's go back to the wife situation and why the scooter cost so much money. Well, I knew I had to do all this stuff, so I got special helmet with the tent and my eye prescription. Then I was like, I need some kind of radio, because this is gonna be boring. I'm gonna be driving on the road for the next 3 or 4 days. There's no way I'm gonna do this in 34 a day and a quarter. No way I'm driving all day and all night. Nope. It took about 5 days to get there. I left on the 27th of April and got there like May 2nd or May 3rd. But it was a pretty fun drive. So I was like, okay, I got a cell phone, but it's not a smartphone. It's still, it's a digital phone, but you can't go on the internet with it. You just text and chat. And the only way me and my wife were able to webcam is because of that. Then I was like, okay, I need to get myself a backpack. I need to buy myself a cooler so I can put sodas in it and that. So I had my backpack, and I knew I was gonna buy clothes there anyway. So I didn't buy a lot of stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna change one time and go to the truck stop and get me a pass to take a shower. And I had a couple passes anyways. So I went and bought myself a couple outfits. Thought I heard my name, but I didn't. Anyways, I bought myself a couple outfits, so I got myself a nice jacket, a windbreaker jacket, and I got myself a sweater. Because I knew for one, maybe get myself, it was like 80 degrees when I left. It doesn't mean it's going to be 80 degrees anywhere else. I was correct. It rained half the time. So I got myself a little windbreaker waterproof jacket. I knew it was going to rain. Then not only I bought myself a brand new outfit, bought myself brand new shoes, brand new socks, brand new undergarments. And I got myself a couple sticks of deodorant and some body spray and some mouthwash and stuff. And stuff like that. And I brought my 3 passes for showers because I ended up taking 2 showers. So every time I took a shower, I got to put on fresh clothes. So not only I bought myself an outfit to drive, the beginning route, I bought a sweat outfit. Yeah, somebody's screaming, I don't know who. I don't know what that is. I don't know. But, so I ended up buying myself 2 sweat outfits. I bought myself 2 sweat outfits, so I had the sweaters. So if it got cold, I can put all the outfits on or whatever. And I bought myself rain pants, rain gear. I took that on. But yeah, with that rain coat and stuff, yeah, with buttons and stuff. So I just put on a sweatshirt and stuff. But I ended up wearing both pairs of jeans and 4 sweatpants. It was cold. And that. So every time I changed, I was able to put on new clothes. I ended up taking 2 different showers. I ended up taking a shower somewhere in Minnesota. Well, wherever Milwaukee is. I went to a truck stop in Milwaukee. Then somewhere in North Dakota. I ended up taking another shower, and I just drove all through. We got into Montana, and in Idaho, I was gonna take another shower and pay a $7.50 for a shower, but it was like a 45-minute wait. I was like, man, where I'm at in Idaho, it's an hour and 53 minutes to get out of here. That's a 4.5, 5-hour drive out of Washington. Well, that's what it said on the GPS, but does that mean that? No, man, how fast you going, right? Yeah. Let's not talk about how fast we were going. Never. But yeah, we got in trouble. The scooter, just tell you this. When I tell you the upgrades, you may want to sit down in a couple minutes and I'll tell you what I did to that scooter. So, whatever. Yes, it took 5 days to get there, so I took my time. So I would drive for like, 12 hours, between 8 and 12 hours a day, man. I was feeling. And I'd go I stayed at 3 motels. So when I took a shower in Milwaukee, yes, I got a motel. So then when I took a shower in North Dakota, yes, I got a motel. Why didn't I not take a shower at the motel? Well, I wanted to use up them passes. They were expiring, like, a month. And it didn't matter where you went. You just had to go to Flying J truck stops. No, that's what I had. I mean, how did I get the Flying J passes? Well, my uncle used to work for a company doing deals. They would give, and he'd be on the road for 6 days straight, 7 days straight, all year round. Didn't matter if it was nice outside, windy outside, tornado, hurricane, earthquakes, snowstorm. He delivered for this company, taking motel passes, but he ran out of the motel passes going towards Washington State. But he goes, well, there's a couple Flying J's, you can have 2 shower things, so I ended up going to get cheapest motels, putting the spoon inside, blah, blah, blah. But still, so we ended up doing that, and I had brand new outfits on. So, and I knew when I got there, I had 3 or 4 brand new outfits and a pair of shoes. So when I ended up getting there, I bought more stuff. But the thing was, I was only supposed to stay for a week. And, but it didn't last. That did not last long, because I got there for a week. They said, well, what do you plan on doing? I don't know. They said, but you can stay here, blah, blah, blah. Because I was at a motel. The whole time there, I was at a motel. And I just picked her up. I rented a car. I had the scooter there, but I stayed at the motel, and I ended up renting a car. And they go, remember you texted and said pay it forward? I said, yeah. I go, by the way, and I told him, by the way, I was only messing with you guys. He goes, no, we want to pay it forward. He goes, how much did it cost to drive here? I go, $336. And that's exactly what you guys owe for your bill. You owe $360 for your bill, and you owe $360. They end up, they go, how much was that motel? I said, for the week was $900. They end up giving me $970 for the motel. And I told them they didn't have to pay me, and they paid me their like $1,100. It was like $970 bill or something like that. So it was up there. It's a lot of money to pay for because I paid for almost 2 years. I mean, you figure it was $96 a month. So that was 36 payments of $96. It was like $970 or something like that. I can't remember exactly. So that not only they gave me the $930 for their phone bills, they gave me the $930 for the motel fee, and they gave me the $300 some odd for the gas. They said, well, we just paid for it. Like, in reality, I didn't want the money, I was just messing around. I'm like, no. You were honest with us, we're honest with you. And you came here and you didn't have to come here. When you came here, you didn't judge us. You know, they don't have nothing. I mean, when I got there, it was like, oh my God, we're gonna have to do something here. The grass was 3 feet tall, by the way. I went out and bought a lawnmower, a little bit of money. But the money literally was what they gave me for that motel, and what they gave me for that phone bill, and for the gas. I didn't need it yet. I'm like, okay, time to buy a weed whacker, time to buy a lawnmower, and time to buy a blower. I'm like, we're in the country. We don't need a hedge. Man, I have a driveway anyways. There's sidewalk and rocks. So, picked up me a $200 lawnmower, picked up $100 weed whacker and a $100 blower. I still have today. Still have it. Does it work? I don't know. I had the lawnmower in storage, and I had the chainsaw I bought. That was 5 years later, and started getting wood. But anyways, they paid it forward. That was cool. And I'm like, well, you said who you are. I really never seen him on webcam. Only people I really knew was my wife from webcam, her sister, her two sisters. Sometimes they would do a shadow pop in, say hello, blah blah blah. They were kind of jealous, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. But the main thing is the scooter. What did we put on this scooter? Well, I saved money because I had to replace the bumper, not the bumper, fog lights. I bought fog lights, so that was a kit. I had to end up buying all that. Had to buy a wire harness, a switchboard, and the fog lights. So it cost like $200. So, yeah. Then the windscreen or the windshield, we put Rain-X on it. So, but a company does it for you, where it penetrates and you do it one time and that's it. So, and this is before I bought my helmet. I didn't know what I was doing. When I got the helmet and got the shield took a little while. Like I said, it took 3 months to do the scooter. The rim, I ended up replacing the rim to an Ally rim. So I got a little bit of money back from the front and back rim. And I got a little bit of money for the tires. I didn't like the tire stuff. So I ended up going with a Dunlop tire, a 30K mile tire. Then, for one, I couldn't leave the state, so I had to drive 30 miles. 30 miles an hour for 150 miles. Oh, God, that stuff. Especially on a 650 scooter with these upgrades. And I had to break it in before, well, the rims were running, because I got the rims right away. We were coming in the tires. We got next day. I think we ordered the front and back rims and the tires and the muffler and the exhaust and the manifold on a Friday, and we got it Monday afternoon sometime around noon. And it was on the road by Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember exactly what day it was. And all that. So, and another thing, I had to wait for my plate to come in. So, and I had to wait for the windscreen to come in. But we ended up changing the drive chain V-belt. Then there's these little plastic rubber things. I don't know what it was. It was like $179 upgrade. You got a new belt thingy. That got replaced. And then on the clutch or the transmission, that one got replaced. Then I ended up changing the fluids in the clutch and the oil. Then I got the forks rebuilt, like what we got to do on the scooter I had today. We ended up changing the weight on that. And that's because I didn't like the weight. I can't remember exactly what weight we put in, but we changed it. I think we ended up putting in different weight they would do for motorcycle racing. Because I put that weight, what they would put in like R1s or Hayabusas and stuff. So I knew I was going to go over 90 miles an hour. Anyways, yeah, we went fast. So we changed the weight on that. Got high temp transmission oil, high temp racing oil, and all that. And then I put all K&N air filters, because at one time I was sponsored by K&N, not no more, because the Spike dealership. So I got all kinds of stuff from the dealer's cost, and it was pretty cool. So I ended up changing all that, changed spark plug, put better antifreeze in it. I don't know the difference in antifreeze, but whatever. Then changed all the spindles and stuff like that, and new V-belt and oil filters. All the oil weights are different. So, but the muffler, can't remember exactly what muffler, but the muffler alone. Then I put a tuning kit on it. So, yes, it did have, a sports mode and stuff like that, but with the muffler, they told me I had to get a a tune. So we ended up getting a level 2 tune. Yeah, and it was like $300. And the higher, if I want like a level 4 tune, we're talking like $1,000. And I had too much money in it already. Remember, I had to put fog lights on it. I got the windshield. I got the helmet and stuff. So and I had riding gloves, and they were heated. That's the only thing on that bike was heated. My riding gloves. That had to get that wire had to get wired in. Well, I could have did 12 volts, but I just wanted a direct plug-in. I could have just, I could use one of the plug-ins for the fog lights by just plugging it into a cigarette lighter too. But I ended up didn't want to do that. So I knew I had to have my phone plugged in. So somebody called me, whatever, or text me, I can still text. And that's what we were doing. Where you at? Where you at? Blah 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 blah. And I was messing with them the whole time. The Friday said, "Where you at?" Oh, still in Montana somewhere. I just look something up, and I had my laptop. Well, you got Wi-Fi and stuff, or you're doing McDonald's or Burger King or whatever, Starbucks or whatever. Wi-Fi. I had my laptop, and I had to buy clothing and backpack, the cooler and stuff. I didn't need a lot, but a lot of time I just go to gas station and get myself a couple hot dogs or a couple slices of pizza or a sub or something. I didn't eat a lot. I ended up losing like 8 pounds, maybe 9. I didn't eat. I only ate once a day. And trust me, if I knew about YouTube back then, it would have been wonderful. Trust me. So I ended up buying me a Garmin. So I had to figure out that mountain. So me and my friend would go up and do all this stuff. Did all that, we put the new muffler and all that on, new rims and tires and stuff. You had to put the tires on because it's a different company. And he programmed everything for me. Put my tune in. That was stupid. So there was big hills. That's the only time I really put that tune in. But you still needed that tune. The Power Commander was really cool. That came stock. What I liked about that scooter was the mirrors folded in, and they had the little blinkers, so you had headsets. So that was pretty cool. And if you want to turn off the headlight, you could, because they had a switch that, and then you could just run the fog lights. So that was pretty cool. So when you want to stop on the side of the road for some reason and get yourself thrown and slamming really quick, you can turn on your hazards. So that was pretty cool. But that wasn't the cool part about the bike. The cool part about the bike was it was boom, 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 boom. I had music. So, we ended up cutting 7-inch circle diameter holes inside the seat. I could have just put one 12-inch speaker, but maybe I thought maybe at the time my girlfriend would want to ride, but she didn't. So we didn't do that. And I told the scene we got a cover for it. I don't know what that cost. That was kind of pricey. I should have just put a speaker in, but we didn't. So I ended up getting a cover when I got here. Honestly, because where we used to live was down the road from here, where we're at today. But no, yeah. Anyways, that doesn't tell you much anyways. Anyways, we ended up doing that. We got the speakers on the side, where, the person's leg would be for the back here. Then, I had 2 speakers mounted to the handlebars. So that was pretty cool. And it kind of flared with the GPS, but we freaked everything out. I only need to really listen to it. I didn't need to look to it first, because it said it's like mile, get it over to the right, you gotta go off at exit, blah, blah, blah. So you only had a glance at it. But it was way better than kind of doing it on the phone. At least it talked to you like a radio. So that was pretty cool. And the main thing is, the radio was Bluetooth. So I could have just had earbuds in my ear. Or vice versa. And my Garmin was Bluetooth, so I could come my other ear. I had one earbud for the GPS and another earbud for the radio. But I only end up having an earbud on for the GPS so I can hear it. That 40 mile an hour, or 50 mile an hour, 60 miles an hour, 70 mile an hour, 80 mile an hour, 90 mile an hour, you didn't hear that GPS. So you had to have an engineer. But you can hear the radio because what it was, I believe it was, the two back speakers were bass, and the two regular speakers were just, I don't know what kind of speakers they were, but they had a little bit of bass. Back speakers were way better in that, so, but you can hear it really well, and yeah. But, so I ended up doing all that, got the windshield, got the tune and the V-belt and stuff. Then we went and took the old brake pads out and put ceramic brakes. Ceramic brakes last forever. I don't know why, but like I got ceramic brakes on the scooter right now in storage. It's like 3 years old and they don't squeak. They did in the beginning. You break them in. So you always have braking parodies with ceramic brakes, but they don't squeak anymore. They last forever. And like, so that scooter was fun. And especially with the extra cigarette lighters and stuff like that, the fog lights and stuff like that, LED lights. It was a Christmas tree almost. When it was dark, well, in my circle, my 9-foot circle, I had a semi-truck being happy. Literally, I had a semi-truck honking at me. I'm like, what in the world? What is this guy driving my butt for? Yeah, I'm in front of him. I'm doing the speed limit. You know, the speed limit 60 pounds. I'm doing something. This guy. I get over to the rest stop. And the guy, he goes in the rest stop. I'm like, oh my God, what? Did I just piss this guy off? The guy goes, dude, that scooter is freaking awesome. And he's never seen this before. The scooter's been offered for a while. I don't know when exactly it came out. I'm like, man, this scooter's been around for years. He goes, no, man. I don't know what you have for lights, but they're bright. You saved my life. Find out. Only lights he had was running lights. I'm like, oh. Because I guess his hot lights went out. High beams didn't work. Low beams didn't work. He just had running lights. He goes, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have made it here. I'm glad you stopped us. I had to get off. And going through this rest stop, I go, like, you think they would have the pole like, the guy goes, my God, thank you. He goes, I don't even know if I would have made it in here. I would have had to park it in the morning. I'm like, man, it's like 1 o'clock here, man. You would have had to sit up at the top of 5 hours. He goes, well, eventually I probably would have made it through with a flashlight, but it would have been scary. He goes, no, man, I didn't mean to scare you, but thanks. I'm like, yeah, you've been following me for like about half an hour. I didn't even realize. I looked in the mirror, but I didn't think of anything. Now he goes, yeah. He goes, what do you got? I'm like, LEDs. He goes, holy crap. He goes, you got fog lights? I'm like, yeah. He goes, that's what's making it to the 9-foot circle. He goes, yeah, you were lit up like a Christmas tree. I seen that you had a blue jacket on and you had a red back hat. He goes, I'm glad you had one of it. I'm glad that you're wearing bright colors. And I'm glad you had all them lights because people probably run you over. It's a big scooter, don't get me wrong. Well, you guys seen videos on Yamaha Madison. But it's a big scooter. It's 9 foot long. It's huge. And these are Gold Wings. 1800 Gold Wings were being 1,000 pounds. And my Yamaha Madison's like 550. I think the 650 Berman's, well, mine wasn't 650, especially with the tune and the muffler and stuff. And the light being a little bit better. It ran like a 700 or 710 or something like that. But I knew more about the scooters then than I know today. Well, bumped my head a few hundred times. So, anyways, so we ended up doing that and stuff, and paying good rate on the goddamn stuff. So it was pretty cool. And yeah, ended up buying me soda. Just it was a Pop Tart, I think it was, and a bag of chips. So that was pretty cool. So I ended up hanging out with him all night. A company came out, put me like his one of a company out where they were at. Had a delivery company come out and fix his stuff, and so that was pretty cool. And then I got a little bit of rest in the back of his truck, so that was pretty cool. So, yeah, I just want to let you guys know that life can be short. Can you trust a lot of people? Sometimes you can't. That was my story. If you guys want to hear more stories like this about my life, let me know. That's how I met my wife of today, and how he would pay somebody for it. They paid it for it. I didn't really want the money, but they ended up giving me the money anyway. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just want to let you guys know. If you guys haven't seen the other videos about backstage workers, they're not important. Well, what is for backstage workers? I wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't be able to watch this video if it wasn't for backstage workers. Like the person running the internet, the creator of cell phones. You need to have them kind of people, kind of tech. Wouldn't have this technology. You wouldn't be able to watch TV or play it with you. Okay? Peace. What's up, everybody? What's up? Hope you guys enjoyed that. This is what a lot of the video is going to be. It's going to be about story time, and a lot of you are probably going to most likely enjoy that. That's what this channel is going to be turning into, is a bunch of stories. Bunch of stories in the back. And I believe that all you folks will enjoy that. And I will be enjoying it as much as you guys will too, because I love telling stories, folks. I really do. These are all true. They're all true to my word, and some of these stories cost me a lot of money. So you guys want to stay tuned? You guys want to stay tuned and listen to them? I think that's a lot better to do than I can just be playing the game in the background, and you guys can listen. Yes, I record them through an audio feed off my phone. Then I run it through my Bluetooth speaker because it's louder. I do want to say thank you, and I appreciate everything you guys done. Watch this channel and let it run through its courses in the last few years with the new subscribers. I appreciate it 100%. I'm not here to make anybody upset or mad, but I can tell you something. When you're gonna do something, you're gonna say something with false information, well, somebody's gonna back up that information. I can tell you that right now. When somebody says on YouTube and they're live, and they're gonna start bashing stuff and say backstage workers are not important, well, I'm gonna back that up. Because if it wasn't from like I said, mechanics, mail people, teachers, principals, dishwashing companies, busboys, hosts, all them, you know, mail service, shipping services, farmers, garbage people, doctors and nurses, dentists, eye doctors, cashiers, stockers. If you didn't have any of that, you couldn't run society. So yes, backstage workers like somebody doing audio and the smoke, the bomb, the lasers, the music, and the janitors and everything. If you didn't have backstage workers, well, then you don't really have anything. So yes, backstage workers are important. I'm not here to get anybody upset or mad. I'm not here to make anybody peed off. I'm not here for that. I love everybody. I give everybody an opportunity and a chance to be a human. I'm not here to make anybody upset. That did I not get it? Oh well. I'm not here to make anybody upset or mad where you guys would remove me off of Facebook, Instagram, X, or even on here, YouTube. I don't want to lose anybody that's subscribed. Yes, people make mistakes because of their learning disability. But if it wasn't for people for heating and cooling, electricity, gas, and water, they're all backstage workers. You don't see them. You don't see them. But if it wasn't for them people running in the background, you wouldn't have anything. You know what I mean? People build cameras and all that, building businesses and all that. If you didn't have building technologists, all them people, scientists, you don't have any of that, you don't have nothing. You don't have somebody to create, you know, a PlayStation or an Xbox or something, and you don't have nothing. This world would not be resolved if somebody didn't know how to do something like the gas and the oil and the antifreeze and the power steering fluid and all that different batteries and all that RC cars, motorcycles, dirt bikes. You didn't have somebody know how to do all that stuff, like having a teacher and a scientist and stuff, health fanatics and stuff. If you don't have any of that, you have nothing. So yes, backstage workers are important. I don't, you know, the person's making a mistake, and I don't want him to tell people the wrong information. Because some people out there, man, woohoo, we don't even want to talk about what people would say or even physically do. So I'm just going to say, God bless you all. You guys stay safe out there. Please don't make a wrong choice. And if you don't know the choice, go talk to somebody. Please. Come talk to me. I love talking to you fans. Comment down below what you want to hear next. What kind of story do you want to do? You want to hear about my first car? Let me know in the comments. You want to know about my first animal? Let me know. Or about when we raised rabbits and chickens on the property, when we had our own property. If you guys want to hear any of them, fine details. Oh, you want to know about New York? Let me tell you a story about New York. Let me know in the comments. You want to know the New York story? Or even like road trips. Why am I doing this? Why? Sit down, dude. I didn't tell you to get up. I don't even know what he said. Anyways, if you guys want to hear stories about road trips, let me know. I can tell you a bunch of stories about road. Well, it's at 22,825. If you guys even want to know about road trips, well, let me know in the comments down below, and I appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. God bless you all. My name is Jeremy, a.k.a. Batman Max. Add me on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. There's my username. Make sure you put that. Thank you, and God bless you all. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace out.